I think within the UK, certainly in the cereal market, which is the area that we grow in, there is now pretty much a ceiling on and almost a tailing off on some of the yields, particularly on wheat and to a certain extent on barleys.
I think particularly in the last 5 years, and the volatility of food is, for instance, this year we have wheat at more like £100 a tonne. 2 years ago we had wheat at £200 a tonne, and it causes difficulties right the way through the supply chain, and particularly for consumers, they have great volatility in where prices are. And we never had this. 20 years ago, if wheat went up 5, 10, 15 pounds, it was a bad day. But now you have such volatility, and it makes it very difficult in terms of marketing your crops and knowing what price you should be buying your inputs to what price you're going to get for your outputs.
Without, I think, further progression maybe into genetics, some genetic manipulation of crops to aid and assist so we can use less artificial fertilisers. For instance, the carbon footprint of a tonne of wheat is 85% made up of the artificial fertiliser that's used to grow the crop. So we need to do more to put organic matter back into the soil to try and get away from this oil-based and gas-based products and get a bit more nature into the soil. The soil is losing its life and its vigour to grow a crop with all the stuff we're putting in. Not saying we're not going to use it, but we need to think more closely and clearly about what we're doing to manage the soil.
Particularly for growing vegetables, we've particularly in the last 2 years, we had difficult harvesting. The last year was fine, but 2 years before that we had very difficult conditions. In terms of the quality of vegetables that we have to put into the supermarket, skin finish is everything. And almost the supermarkets have dictated and want that quality of product. So the consumer thinks that if it's got a good skin finish, whether it be onions or potatoes, then that's what they expect. But that makes it very difficult when you have the UK climate where you can have rainfall or large rainfall at harvest, which can totally affect your crop in terms of how it looks and how it appears. So we get more wastage and potentially a lot less margin for that crop.
Crops grown through renewable energy, I think, is going to become another potential threat. You drive through parts of Lincolnshire, there's lots of maize going into anaerobic digesters. There's areas of solar panels being put down. I think it's fine on rubbish land or less than grade 3 land, but on grade 1 veg land it shouldn't be allowed. So I think there's a whole thinking behind what we're actually doing, not just nationally, but through the whole of the EU. The policies which are being created there are having a direct effect on the supply chain within this country.